Yo, welcome back to the television show, everybody. A television show which just happens to be the number one television show in the history of the world. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon here, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Now today I'm going to be reviewing book number 4 in Raymond Feist's Rift War Saga, and that is A Darkness at Sethanon. And I've reviewed the first 3 books in the series right here, and now we are to The Darkness at Sethanon. This came out in 1986. I consider this kind of one of the classic epic fantasy novels of all time, along with the whole series. I read it when I was a kid. I remember as a kid, I loved it. I thought it was probably one of the most exciting endings to a book I've ever read. I just was jazzed about it. One of my favorite series as a kid. Now, as I've been rereading these books and sort of revisiting the land of the Rift War Saga for these book reviews that I'm doing on YouTube, I've enjoyed myself quite a bit because it's been a long time since I read these. And a lot of memories come flooding back. I mean, that's nostalgia, you know. So let's talk about the cover first, because you know I love graphic design and cover illustration. I specifically and especially love old 1970s, 80s, and early 1990s science fiction illustration. I grew up on that. I love it. I just love the way the books were designed, and I like this one too. This one was illustrated by an illustrator named Kevin Johnson. In fact, Kevin Johnson did all of the original Rift War novel covers, and to me they're just iconic fantasy novel covers. I love the way this is one of my favorites of all time. Still gives me chills just looking at it because I was such a young guy when I read this, and these books meant so much to me. And I love the typeface and the little scroll work up here. It's just super cool. I don't think that the graphic designers and stuff and the publishers do them as good as they used to. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you there. Anyway, this one's good too. Now, later they did re-release these with covers by Don Mates, and those covers are cool. The Don Mates covers are really super cool. And then they re-released them all again with some pretty generic, like Photoshop bullshit covers. But anyway, this is the one. These are the original ones I bought when I was a kid. So, and I kept them. Anyway, high fantasy, very Tolkien-esque, more Tolkien-esque than I remember. I mean, there's elves and dwarves and all the Tolkien stuff in here. The writing is pretty good. The writing is it's not flowery like Tolkien, or the prose isn't purple or anything like that. But it is pretty solid writing that Raymond Feist is doing. And there's not much I can say about this book specifically without spoiling everything else that's gone before. But I will say it just opens with a great scene. Jimmy the Hand, our thief, he's out doing Jimmy the Hand things, you know, sneaking about the city, being the young thief that he is, and getting into mischief and spying on people and finding out mysteries and all those things. And then we launch into the crux of the story, where we've got our main characters like Pug the magician, Thomas, his friend that he grew up with, who's become sort of like this sort of king of mythical creature kind of things. And then we've got Prince Arutha and the princesses and all those things that happen in the court. It's just got, this book is full of quests and adventure, court intrigue, assassins, creatures like orcs and goblins, and all those kind of things. I think I can't remember what they were called exactly. Anyway, an evil wind blows through mid-Camea. Dark legions have risen up to crush the kingdom of the Isles and enslave it to dire magics. The final battle between order and chaos is about to begin in the ruins of the city called Sethanon. Now Pug, the master magician, sometimes known as Malambar, must undertake an awesome and perilous quest to the dawn of time to grapple with an ancient and terrible enemy for the fate of 1,000 worlds. Like I said, it's like Tolkien-esque. I mean, it's like Dark Lords wanting to destroy the good things. And it's kind of a when at the end of that, when they say thousands of the fate of 1,000 worlds, this is kind of a not alternate universe type of a story, but it's multiple worlds. And if you've followed these series, you know that there's these portals that these characters can go through that take them to different fantasy worlds. And Raymond Feist has done spin-off series about those different fantasy worlds. And sometimes even in these books, we get to visit those different fantasy worlds. And so we get to see different cultures, whole different timelines and things like that throughout. But anyway, so not only is Pug the Magician trying to save just his world from the dark evil lords, he's trying to save thousands of worlds from the dark evil. I mean, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I reread this pretty quick. Now, like I said, when I was a kid, I just thought it was the dopest, most fascinating, action-packed ending that I'd ever read in a fantasy series at the time. And upon my reread, I still appreciated it for that fact that my younger self thought and believed those things. I still think that it is a really exciting book with a great story and ending. Fascinating, great characters. Some of the best, most iconic characters in all of fantasy lore come out of this series. And I think I enjoyed it more as a kid. I'm just saying. Now, you followed my reviews of these three, and I think that The Darkness at Sethanon, I would probably rank the books in order of my favorite. I'd probably rank them just as they were published, with this one first, and then this one, and then the third one, and the fourth one. I think that they're all solid, but I like book one the best, book two the second best, book three the third best, and book four the fourth best. All of them I liked very well. So I'm going to give The Darkness at Sethanon a 9 out of 10. It's a very, very great classic fantasy novel, and there you go.